We are live on YouTube and session is going to be started. Over to you, Shanti.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the launch event of the Champ Maker Faire, organized and run by students of various ATS from across the country to inspire and get inspired. I am Sanvi Nasri, the host of today's event. I am a Class 6 student of APA School, Hebbal, Bangalore. We will launch the Maker Faire during the first 15 minutes and then begin the webinar on emerging digital technologies at 4:15. I request everyone in the audience to mute your end. Now, let's begin today's program with an invocation song by Miss Meghana. Meghana, over to you.
Next, we can call you now. Thank you, Sanvi. I will start now. Adhishta Mahaganapati Abhishta Mahaganapati Aganaveda Yantarahitapadi Agamaveda Yantarahitapadi Abhishtavarata Mahaganapati Kavindra Ravivinuta Kanakamaya Devya Kavindra Ravivinuta Kanakamaya Devya Charanakamandamundu Nammitini Charanakamandamundu Nammitini Abhishtavarata Mahaganapati Mukti Margamuna Kumudati Devamuni Shakti Sumukhato Bhakturdhupariki Mukti Margamuna Kumudati Devamuni Shakti Sumukhato Bhakturdhupariki Siddhi Buddhi Bara Balamula Sagina Siddhi Buddhi Bara Balamula Sagina Sadguru Shri Tyagaraja Pagarina Sadguru Shri Tyagaraja Pagarina Abhishtavarata Mahaganapati.
Thank you, Meghna. Now, I would like to request Miss Renu Singh, the principal of APA School, Hebbal, to address the gathering. Ma'am.
Unmute. Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everybody. It gives me immense pleasure to be amongst the entrepreneurs, thinkers, creators, innovators of the future. My greetings to one and all who have joined us from various walks of life. My special greetings to the Regional Mentor of Change, Kiran Sir, and Miss Leelambika, the ATL in charge of AFO School, Hebbal. We all know Tinker Champ. This activity is a student-driven activity. From the time of the inception of ATL in our schools, we have realized that this space has revolutionized education in the big way. Our school space have really become magical, with children buzzing with innovative ideas, and the confidence they exude is remarkable. This particular activity, that is the Tinker Champ Maker, is yet another activity which is a complete package to hone the 21st century skills in our children. The pilot program of Tinker Champ was conceived by AFO School Hebel in association with other ATL schools between the month of August and October 2021. Many children from across 8 states and 12 schools have participated actively and enthusiastically. And it has been a power-packed session with children conducting workshops, webinars, developing several digital products, developing e-learning resources like websites, videos, e-books, tutorials, podcasts for the benefit of their fellow tinkerers. They went further ahead to train other children of their respective school. Isn't it amazing? In this way, they picked up all the 21st century skills. My sincere thanks to Kiran sir for having curated this wonderful program. I'm sure we couldn't have conducted such a fruitful event even in our classroom settings. And if I look at this program, long-time vision of this program is to have a viral effect of this culture of innovation. This culture of innovation, innovative thinking should be contagious, and it should spread to your society, to your community, to the nation as a whole. And I can foresee this dream coming true. Now, the next 3 days, my dear children who are in this fair, the online maker fair, will be showcasing their initiatives, achievements, and accomplishments. I'm sure the viewers, the children, the entrepreneurs, the teachers, and the mentors of change who have joined us from various sectors of the country will benefit and will be amazed by the work these little champs have been doing. And it should not stop here. I would request all of you to spread this culture of empowering knowledge, empowering way of thinking to your real community, to your near community. So with this, I bless all of you children. Good luck and all the very best.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a great introduction to the Tinker Champs program. Yes, the Tinker Champs are conducting a maker fair starting from today. The online maker fair will be held and spread over the 3 days and will be held on 12th, 13th, and 14th of November. The maker fair will have 3 themes. Each day of the maker fair will focus on one theme. Day 1 will be all about digital tools and technologies. The focus of day 2 will be on 21st century skills, while day 3 will focus on entrepreneurship. The 3-day action-packed event will have webinars, technology demonstrations, panel discussions, product demos, quizzes, and games corresponding to the above 3 themes. All the events during the Maker Faire are planned, organized, and conducted by the participating students themselves. In addition, key highlights, initiatives, achievements, and accomplishments of Tinker Champs will also be showcased on the Maker Faire website built by the students. We look forward to your active participation during the 3 days of the Tinker Champ Maker Faire event. Here is the schedule for the next 3 days. In this session, we will have a webinar on emerging digital technologies. And in the next session, later this evening, We will have a demonstration of 5 technology tools by our Tinker Champs. Before we begin today's webinar, I request Ms. Kavana to launch the Tinker Champ Maker Faire website. Kavana, over to you.
Thank you, Sanvi. Hope you all can see Aditri's screen.
Yes, Kavana.
The Tinkerchamp Maker Faire website is a virtual showcase of achievements, accomplishments, and initiatives of participating students over the last 3 months. On the homepage, you can find a brief introduction to the Maker Faire as seen here. The Maker Faire has 3 themes: digital tools and technology, 21st century skills, and entrepreneurship, one for each day of the event. Here, you can find podcasts, ebooks, blogs, and websites on digital tools and technologies put together by our Tinker Champs. We have a lot of interesting ebooks handpicked carefully and designed by our Tinker Champs. Be sure to check it out. In the 21st Century Skills theme page, you can find podcasts, ebooks, blogs, and websites related to 21st century skills, which are very essential for students today. We have a lot of interesting ebooks and blogs here as well. Be sure to check them out. In the Entrepreneurship theme page, you can find podcasts, ebooks, blogs, and websites on entrepreneurship, brought to you by our Tinker Champs. In the sessions page, you can find details of all the 6 sessions over the next 3 days, including the YouTube joining link and the Zoom joining link, as well as the topic. In the Tinker Champ page, you will find everything you need to know about the Tinker Champ program, who the Tinker Champs are, what their initiatives are, and what products they have built for their ATLs. It's really interesting. Please make sure to check it out. In the games and quizzes page, you can play games and fun quizzes and win surprise prizes. Do not miss the opportunity. Here, we are providing exclusive access to an online digital platform where students can acquire skills in 32 digital tools and technologies for free. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Make sure to check out our website at the link https://sites.google.com/view tinker-champ-maker-faire. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditri, Kavana, Varshini, and Satvika, the 4 students who have worked over the last several weeks to put together the Tinker Champ Maker Faire website. We now move on to the main topic of today's session. I now invite Ms. Varshini to deliver a keynote speech on emerging digital technologies. Varshini, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sanvi. Good evening, everyone. I am D. Varshini, Class 9 student of Kendriya Vidyalaya, DRDO, Bangalore. Over the next 40 minutes, I will share my knowledge and perspectives on emerging digital technologies. Give me a minute. Let me share my slides. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, Varshini.
Oh, okay, so this is why you're here, to learn about emerging digital technologies. Here, I will give you all of my knowledge on some amazing digital technologies and so much more. This is your guide to the future. So let's begin. I would like to say a few words about myself. I find technology interesting and love to create things to help out fellow students. I also love to read and write novels. I have previously created 6 amazing websites and a bunch more. Now that you know something about me, let's learn about today's webinar. In today's webinar, you will learn about some emerging digital technologies as suggested in the title. You will also learn about digital evolution, and finally, you will learn about the digitized future. Isn't this interesting? Let's begin. So firstly, let's learn about few major digital technologies. We have Internet of Things, robotics, data analytics, social media, artificial intelligence, big data, virtual reality, 3D printing, augmented reality, internet, web applications, and smart devices. And if you know, there are many more things to go on, and the list continues. Most of us have heard of at least one or two of these major digital technologies. All of us use social media, internet, and maybe not augmented reality, but we've definitely heard of all of these topics. Now let's look into a little further about a few of these topics. So Internet of Things. Internet of Things is the network of things where things can be physical objects, home appliances, electronic devices, vehicles, or industrial machines. Now let's look at a few examples. This here is sensors and actuators. So for example, here we have shoes, and when we are going for a jog, these sensors can track our calories or how many footsteps, our blood pressure, our heart rate, and all of that. Sensors can track it. This has already been happening like with our watches, but we can also add sensors to shoes. And then if you lose your dog, if you own pets, you know the hassle. I don't own pets, but I know few people who have lost dogs. Well, you can add a sensor to their collar, and then this can track them wherever they go. And this will be amazing help to people who are forgetful. And then we have schools, buses. Parents sometimes get worried about their child, if they're home, if they're arriving, where are they? Well, your bus can have a tracking system and a web application where your parents can view where the bus is. So this will be very helpful to the parents and even the students. And this is some connectivity that we get through Internet of Things. So with that connection to internet, we can make our car keys, cars, washing machine, tube lights, fire extinguishers, and so much more smart. And here, for example, we can add so many actuators and other things and make our house smarter. Now that we know about Internet of Things and find it very, very, very interesting, you can make things on your own using Internet of Things. Like Tinkercad circuits can be used to simulate electronic circuits involving sensors and actuators. ThinkSpeak can be used to monitor and control data from sensors and actuators. Isn't this amazing? Now let's look into another amazing topic, which is robotics. All of us have heard this, haven't we? Robotics involves the use of machines, robots, to perform tasks done traditionally by humans. So now robots can do everything that humans can do. For example, we have manufacturing industries where instead of humans, we have robots lifting weights and doing other jobs that humans usually do in the factories. And in this example, we see that robots can be used to serve people in the restaurant. And even if not serve, they can also cook because they're very, very, very smart. Even in India, this has been implemented in few places. And robots can be used by doctors for performing surgeries. Or they can help to clean up after a surgery or anything like that. And yes, they can be used for evil purposes as well, as we see in the movies, but they can be used amazingly as well. iRobot Simulator can be used to program and simulate a robot by school students very easily. So you can note down this tool called iRobot Simulator, and because we are students, this program is very easy, and through this we can simulate a robot, very fun. And then we have virtual reality. So virtual reality is a computer-generated environment with scenes and objects that appear to be real, making the user feel they are immersed in their surroundings. Virtual reality, we have all seen it in malls. Well, what is it? When we wear goggles like this, it's like we went to a different world. You can go to any movie scene that you want, Avengers, Harry Potter, anything. You can go to all of these through virtual reality. All your imagination can come true through virtual reality. ThinkLink, an amazing tool, this can be used to create a simple virtual reality experience. So virtual reality is a fun thing and you can use ThinkLink and make your imagination come true. Now we have another fun topic, which is augmented reality. Augmented reality is a technology that superimposes a computer-generated image on a user's view of the real world, thus providing a composite and augmented view. Well, virtual reality and augmented reality are both different, but they both are very amazing. In virtual reality, we are going to another surrounding, whereas in augmented reality, we are in the surrounding comes to us basically. So for example, if you're going to a retail store, they can have an application in your, and you can download it in your device. And when you put it up in front of you, it tells this product is this much and there's 10% discount, 20% discount. So augmented reality can be used in retail shops to see prices and discounts. And because we are students, it's very helpful for us as well. We can use it for learning about different topics. And in this picture, we see like we can learn about the body, but we can also learn about the solar system, galaxy, the parts of a star, or anything like that. And here we also have Google's augmented reality maps, which give live direction to reach a destination. So when you just keep your phone up, it just tells the directions in your phone. So this is easier instead of having a 2D map on your phone. And there are more examples. We have IKEA and Lenskart. All of us have seen Lenskart, where you can just put your phone in front of you and try out specs, because online shopping has become a very big thing right now and no one's going out. So you can just use the Lenskart app and decide for the specs you like and you can order it. And now this sounds very interesting. You can use Zapworks Designer to create simple augmented reality experiences. So note down all these tools, they're very fun and exciting. Now we have another topic, which is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, AI, is the ability of a computer or a robot controlled by a computer to do tasks that are usually done by humans because they require human intelligence. By this definition, we understand that in this case, artificial intelligence helps robots act like humans. For example, we have Alexa, Google Echo. Well, they have the ability of natural language processing, which is artificial intelligence. And all of us have used Google Translate at least once. You can go to Spain and then you can type in something you want to ask someone and then it just translates it for you. And this is through the magic of artificial intelligence. Our phones and other devices have the ability of facial recognition, which is provided by our artificial intelligence. All of these examples are artificial intelligence. These examples also, the list goes on. Teachable machine can be used to create object detection and face detection applications using AI. So this also is a very fun tool and you can learn about this in detail and you learn so much. Now we have 3D printing. So 3D printing is also called additive manufacturing. It is the construction of three-dimensional objects from a CAD model or a digital 3D model using machines called 3D printers. And let's look at a few examples. Industrial 3D printers. So these can be used for many things. Currently, 3D printers are printing car parts and all of that. Those all come under the industrial 3D printers category. And then we have the normal 3D printer, which we use, and it's all provided in our ATL. So this 3D printer just needs filament and then it makes your 3D print come to life. 3D printers can make complex designs your normal construction cannot make. And we also have 3D printing of food. Yes, we can print 3D food. Well, the 3D printer can print chocolate, pasta, meat, and so much more. And now you want to make a 3D printed object. Well, Tinkercad, CodeBlocks, and CollabCAD can be used to create 3D models, which in turn can be 3D printed using the 3D printer that, as mentioned, is available in your ATL. So you can use Tinkercad, CodeBlocks, or CollabCAD, make your 3D models, and use the 3D printer in your ATL. And this will bring your vision to life. Now we have this page, which I already mentioned about the ATL. Well, ATLs are Atal Tinkering Labs, which are full of technology resources for tinkerers and innovators, like toolboxes, 3D printers, drone kits, power tools, sensors and microcontrollers, robotics. And we clearly don't know what any of these tools are, but they look fun and interesting. So we'll definitely try them out, won't we? So 3D printers, drone kits, all are very interesting. All of these are available in your school ATL. You can mix and match all of these. You can add your drone kits, some robotics, and make it smarter through sensors and microcontrollers, add IoT, and then through power tools, you can do some other things. And you can also print your drone through 3D printers. And then with your toolbox, you can do so much with these tools. Now, let's look into digital evolution. According to me, this is the definition I would give for digital evolution. Each technological development made by us has a purpose of its own and also helps create new technology. By this process, we are evolving digitally. So let's look, this is just a theoretical example, but let's look at an example. As you see in this image, we have devices, machines, robots, big data, data analytics. But what does this all mean? Well, we have created Internet of Things, which when we have added sensor data, as mentioned in earlier slides, we created 3D printing. Internet of Things plus social networks have created big data. It's the fusion of technology which helps create new technology. Now that we have answered our theory in the last slide, let's move on. So let's look at evolution of tech so far. Computer to computer. This, as you see, is a very old computer. It's one of the first computers ever created. And compared to the computer we use today, it's a big upgrade, isn't it? So this is the difference between the previous computers and the current computers. Cars to cars, this is one of the first cars, and we have smart cars like Tesla and other companies which are coming up with smart cars. They are such a big upgrade from these old cars. We have telephone to smartphone. Through telephones, we could only communicate, but with our smartphone, we can do way more than just communicate. Social media is there. You have WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. You also have other tools, and all of that is available just in your smartphone. Typewriter to computer. So we used to use typewriters previously because we had to type something, news articles or articles for class and all of that. But with our current computers, we can do just more than typing. Through our old typewriters, we couldn't edit or save it. We just had one copy of it, and if you needed a duplicate, you just had to retype everything. But through our current computers, you can print your data whenever you want, you can save it, you can edit it even after like 3 years. So that is the difference between some of the current technology with the previous technology we used to have. Then we have smartphones, social networking, Wi-Fi and IoT and e-commerce. Smartphones, as I mentioned, even you can tell about smartphones. It's not that new to us. Smartphones have been used every day, and because of COVID, we have used it extensively. So we know most about smartphones. We have social networking, which again, we have increased using it a lot. We have Wi-Fi, Tumblr, Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. All these are just examples of social networking. The list goes on. Then we have Wi-Fi and IoT. And don't tell me you don't know about Wi-Fi, because without Wi-Fi, you won't be able to attend this webinar. So that is Wi-Fi. I don't need to explain it, do I? Then we have IoT, which I've already explained, but I'll give you another example. Suppose you have a smart fridge. It can tell you if you have the ingredients to cook a particular dish. It can tell you if you don't have a particular ingredient. It can tell if something is rotten or it's bad or anything like that. And e-commerce. All of us have heard of this, but what exactly is it? So examples of e-commerce are endless. We have Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, and so many more. Even you can name them. So these are just some things like e-commerce. Now let's move on to the next slide, which is cloud computing. The definition of cloud computing is it's a technology that uses the internet for storing and managing data on remote servers, and then it's accessed via the internet. So the biggest example is Google's products. Most of them use cloud computing. Well, what is it? The term is very different, but all of us have experienced it. So Google Drive is the biggest example and the most common example. Then we have Google Docs, it's like Word. Then we have Google Sheets, it's like MS Excel. Then we have Calendar, and we also have mail. And we don't get mail nowadays through pigeons, do we? We get them through our computers and phones. You can view and change and like reply within seconds. All this is an example of cloud computing. You can share your, see, suppose I take an example of a Google document. I can give access to a particular person, and that person can add their inputs or suggestions or anything like that. So the communication is easier through cloud computing. And another example is Zoom. We are also currently on Zoom. So this is another example of cloud computing. We have used this a lot because of COVID. And then we also have what it is. So like the cloud is basically storage, managed services, software, infrastructure, and the user clients can be a computer, a phone, a PC, anything like that. That is cloud computing. Now we have a quote said by a very famous person. This person says, I don't need a hard disk in my computer if I can get to the server faster. Carrying around these non-connected computers is Byzantine by comparison. Well, what they mean through this quote is that if this person can get through the server faster without actually carrying connected computers, non-connected computers, this is easier. You don't need hard disks or anything. You can directly use cloud computing and make your life way easier. And the person who has said this is none other than Steve Jobs, who is the co-founder and CEO of Apple Inc. Now let's move on to another very wonderful topic, second machine age. Second machine age involves the automation of a lot of cognitive tasks that make humans and software-driven machines substitutes. So it basically means the automation of cognitive tasks, and humans usually do cognitive tasks, but now software-driven machines can be the substitutes of humans. Now let's look into it a little further. We have self-driving cars, Sophia the humanoid robot, all of us have heard of her. IBM Watson can give legal advice, AI-based disease detection, Boston Dynamics' robots, it can lift very heavy weights, and we have Amazon Smart Warehouse Robot. For example, self-driving cars. Uber has self-driving cars, Tesla has self-driving cars. So all of these, as mentioned earlier, use something like IoT and become smart and can drive on their own. And Sophia, the humanoid robot, can act like a human without actually being a human. And IBM Watson is basically a lawyer, a digital lawyer. And people say that the IBM Watson can give better advice than human lawyers, and AI-based disease detection. Now through artificial intelligence, we have the opportunity of disease detection through machines. And then we have Boston Dynamics' robots, which are currently being used in factory to lift heavy weights, and they're also used in offices to help around. And then we have Amazon Smart Warehouse Robot. Well, this is just like the factory robots that I've mentioned earlier. They do all the work that humans usually do, and this machine is very smart. Now let's look into another fun topic, which is Industry 4.0. Well, Industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution, is the ongoing automation of traditional manufacturing and industrial practices using modern smart technology. So let's look into it a little further. In this picture, we see Industry 1.2, water and steam power used to mechanized production. So this is in the 1784. So it was like the late 18th century when Industry 1.0 was a thing. Then we moved on to 2.0, which is electrical energy driving mass production and assembly lines. This was in the late 19th century. Then we have Industry 3.0, which is the automation of computers and electronics. So this is the mid 20th century where everything began automated and computers and electronics started coming up. And today we have computerization of manufacturing and digital transformation. We'll get to digital transformation later on, but yes, today it's basically computerized. Our life is very computerized. And everything, as you see in this picture, can be done through machines, phones, computers, laptops. This was Industry 4.0. Now let's learn about machine-driven economy. Machine-driven economy is where the smart, connected, autonomous, and economically independent machines or devices carry out the necessary activities of production, distribution, and operations with little or no human intervention. Through this definition, the main thing we see is no human intervention. So in machine-driven economy, machines and devices do the normal activities that humans usually do, and now humans are no more required to do all these jobs. And then we have an example. So your washing machine has less detergent, and so it asks for the smart cupboard for detergent, and the cupboard says no, it's not available. So it places order for detergent with the store and pays. And then, so the store now has the detergent which it has to deliver. So it uses a drone to deliver, and then the drone will give it to the cupboard because the cupboard is the machine that ordered for the detergent. And now that the cupboard has received the detergent, it asks the home robot to refill detergent in the washing machine, and the home robot passes the detergent to the washing machine. Yes, this is very exaggerated. It's not happened yet, but it's not that far either. We can make such examples very easily. This is just one simple example where humans are not required. Did you see humans in this example? No, humans are no more required. That's what machine-driven economy means. And then we have Society 5.0. It involves the leveraging, collaboration between increasingly powerful and accurate machinery and the unique creative potential of the human being. So through this definition, we see that at least in Society 5.0, we have accurate machinery and human being collaborating. Well, in machine-driven economy, humans were no more required. But keep it in mind, Society 5.0 says that machinery and human beings can collaborate and make something even more amazing. Well, this is amazing because then we still are required. So now for an example. Society 1.0 was the hunting society. This is very long ago. All of us have learned about the hunters and gatherers. And so that is this society. And then we developed into something like farming. That was Society 2.0. Then we had Society 3.2, which is the industrial society. And then, which was like steam locomotive and all of that. Then we have information societies like the aeroplanes, computers, internet, satellites, all that came along in Society 4.0. And in Society 5.0, we have super smart society. In this society, we have the collaboration between humans and machines. This is when we have drones, AI, big data, IoT, smartphones, and all of that come together to become something like Society 5.0. Now for the most important part of this webinar, the future. So all of us are still kids. We don't really think about the future, but since I'm saying so much about machines doing everything and all of that, let's look into the future. How will life be then? So I'll give you 3 scenarios: before pandemic, today, and the future. So get-togethers. How is it before pandemic? We were sitting together in the hall or the kitchen and then talking, cooking together and eating. And then we used to talk about what happened and all of that. But today, it's pretty common now. We just sit in front of the computer, and then your friends and family also sit in front of the computer, and then we just chat together. Well, at this point, we don't need to meet. We don't need to go on transportations or anything to meet someone. This is today's get-togethers. And in the future, we'll have augmented reality get-togethers. Who knows? Since we've already learned about it, I don't need to explain much, but we'll just have these goggles and everyone sitting in a chair, and you just put the specs and then you see everyone here, but they're not actually here, are they? And then now we have classes. So we are all students, so we definitely relate to this. Before pandemic, we used to go offline and sit with the teachers, students, your friends, used to talk. If you had a doubt, you used to ask. So this was life before the pandemic. And today, let's just think about it. How do we attend classes now? We have online classes, the teachers with the computer, he or she is teaching, you all are just sitting here and then listening. We don't know if you're paying attention because everyone's videos are usually off. So teachers and the students used to attend classes, and some schools still are doing it because the pandemic has definitely not gone. So this is classes today. And in the future, we will most definitely have augmented reality classes. And this is not far away. All the students will just sit around wherever they want in their home, and the teachers also in their home. We just wear the specs or goggles, and then it looks like the teacher's there, and you're learning and you're writing notes, and that is the classes in the future. In these 2 cases, there's one similarity. Humans are still required. It's not like we can have machine get-togethers, then humans are not required. We can't have machine classes. In these 2 cases, we are still required. Humans are still required for the future. And now let's look at some other things like shopping. So how did we shop before the pandemic? Well, we used to go with our friends and family and go to the mall and window shop and go for hours actually. Then you can eat food, you can do all of that. That was before the pandemic. Today, we are all doing online shopping because, well, the pandemic has not gone away. And then this it has become a habit for us to just sit in a house and just click a button saying order, and then the next thing you know, it's in your doorstep. So this is today. So you just click the button, your money goes, and then everything arrives at your home. And the future, which is very not far away, actually, in this example, we have drone delivery. Well, in the online shopping of today, a human comes and delivers it to us. But in the future, we can have drones. This is actually not the future because Amazon has already started drone delivery in many Western countries. So this is not very far. And then we have hospitals. So before the pandemic, we used to physically meet our doctor. He or she used to take our blood pressure and then any other tests or anything. They used to say, you're all right, now you have to do this. And then if you had any prescriptions, they used to write it down, used to buy it. That was hospitals before the pandemic. Today, we just have an online doctor. We just call your doctor. Maybe you have a doctor, you can just call the hospital and be like, I want to talk to this doctor, I have this problem. And then they'll just give the call, and then you can talk to your doctor and say, I have this problem, my stomach's not feeling well, and anything like that. This is an example of online doctors, which many people are using it today. And in the future, we will most definitely have self-checking systems. Like your phone will tell if you're all right or not. It will check your heart rate, your pulse, and heart rate and pulse are the same, but any other things, it'll just check and be like, you have to get this, you have to get that. And if in case of machine-driven economy, well, your phone will get it for you. It'll say, you're not well, so I'm ordering this medicine for you. You don't have to tell yes or no if I have to get it. I'll just get it for you. That's how it can be in the future. So that is hospitals in the future. So we don't need hospitals anymore, but we still need humans, but very less. We partly need humans in these two cases. In this case, the humans are required to order. In this case, the humans are the ones getting the checkup done. So humans are slightly required. And now we have two more examples. Factory jobs. So before the pandemic, everyone used to actually go and then they used to lift the boxes if there were any. They used to pack and then sell it off or anything like that. But today we have things like exoskeletons. So this is an exoskeleton. It's this machine where you wear it, and if you carry like a 50 kg box, you can't feel it. You're just like holding it, but you won't feel it. The exoskeleton will take the weight. So this invention has helped many people, and paralyzed people use exoskeletons, and factory jobs, humans use it now. And the future, which is actually not far away, we'll have robots to do the whole thing. We don't need humans. The robot will lift boxes, the robot will pack it up, the robot will send it out. All this is the future. And then we have office. So we are not going to office because you're still children, but you've seen your parents. Before pandemic, they used to actually go and then they used to talk to their boss or the client and they used to make deals. I don't know, I'm not going to office, so I'm not really sure. But all this was done before the pandemic in the office. And today, well, even your parents, just like you, are sitting in front of the computer and listening and staying in the call and then doing job and all of that. And in the future, well, this is scary, but in the future, robots will do the jobs. We don't need humans, and the robots can just sit in front of the laptop and they can do the job like the humans do. So in these two cases, factory jobs and offices, we don't need humans anymore. This was a few examples. We have seen three cases. We still need humans, we partly need humans, and lastly, we don't need humans. Now let's look into a few other things. Digital transformation. Digital transformation is the process of using digital technologies to create new or modify existing business processes, culture, and customer experiences to meet changing business and market requirements. Well, it doesn't really make sense, but it's just the process of using digital technologies to create new or modify the process that we already have. Like reskilling employees is one of the way to change, which is one of the digital transformation. Design thinking, which we are actually doing nowadays. Empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and then test. Lastly, you'll have the product. Then we have remote workspace. Everyone's all spread out through the world and then they're all working together. This is actually already happening. This was digital transformation. Now we have impact of digital transformation. What can happen through digital transformation? Job losses due to automation, new jobs require 21st century skills, rise in entrepreneurship, and increase in freelance. So job losses due to automation. Well, machines can do everything as I mentioned throughout this journey of this webinar. But so for example, we have Burger King. Well, they fired 60,000 people and instead hired robots. And well, we don't need to know why, because robots, unlike humans, are not lazy, they're cleaner and they're faster, which just makes people want these robots more. Then we have new jobs require 21st century skills. So currently 21st century skills are more important, and rise in entrepreneurship. This is also increasing very rapidly. Students like us have become entrepreneurs it's very amazing actually. And then increase in freelance. In this case, people don't work for anyone anymore. And so now you're thinking, well, job losses. So will we have a job? Well, if machines do the normal type of jobs, we can do more creative jobs. We don't need to be idle and not do anything. We can become graphic designers. It needs creativity, which robots still don't have. So we have job loss due to automation, but we also can do creative jobs instead. Humans can do creative jobs, and machines can do a little like the normal kind of jobs, like the usual office jobs that people do. Now let's look into a few of these impacts. So we have 21st century skills. Well, 21st century skills are very important for this fourth industrial revolution, the industry 4.0. And these are many skills. There are many skills that are required to survive in the future. Some of these skills include, these are just the 7 C's, but there are more amazing skills that you have under 21st century skills, like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, cross-culture understanding, communication, computing technology, and career learning. Well, this sounds very interesting, right? You want to know more about critical thinking, collaboration, computing technology? Well, actually, you're in luck, because tune in tomorrow to learn about 21st century skills. We have a webinar on day 2, which tells about 21st century skills. It's very amazing. You have to tune in. And then we have entrepreneurship. Well, entrepreneurship is viewed as change, generally entailing risk beyond what is normally encountered in starting a business. Anyone can be an entrepreneur, but not everybody is going to have the same level of success. Entrepreneurships take a lot of experience, determination, and sometimes education. So becoming an entrepreneur still needs education. You can't just drop out of school and think that you'll become successful. Well, you still need education, and you most importantly need experience and determination. Well, I want to become an entrepreneur to be personally, I really want to become an entrepreneur, and so I want to know more about it. And that's why I will be joining day after tomorrow's session, which is a webinar on becoming an entrepreneur as a student. And anyone can attend this, and you will attain a lot of amazing skills. So you should definitely join. Well, I just have 2 last words to say, and that is thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Varshni, for the wonderful session on emerging digital technologies. I request the audience to stand by. Ms. Likhita will share the quiz on the topic of digital tools and technologies. You all are welcome to participate in the same. By the time Likhita shares the quiz, I request the audience to share their questions in the chat window, and the YouTube viewers in the live chat. We will try to answer the questions after the quiz. Likhita, over to you.
Thank you, Sani. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nikita. I'll now be sharing a quiz on digital tools and technologies. The questions will be pop up on your screen in the next 5 seconds. It contains of 5 questions, and YouTube participants can also participate in the quiz by clicking the link in the description field below the live stream. Please answer all these questions within 3 minutes of time. We'll be announcing the results of the quiz in the Tinkerchat Megafa website on day 3 of events. Are you all ready to answer the quiz? The quiz will be coming in the next 3 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. So I hope you can see the quiz on your screen. So the first question of your quiz is, what does digital economy use? So, and the second question of the quiz is, what is driving the digital economy? So you have 30 seconds of time to answer this quiz. And the third question of the quiz is podcast a digital technology? And the fourth question of the quiz is, what is meant by digital tools? So you have 30 seconds of time to answer this quiz. So I hope you have answered this question. And the fifth question of the quiz is, and it is the last one, that is, what is the common digital tool used for making poster, flyer, video animation? And it's the easiest one. And you have a 30 seconds of time to answer. Hurry up. So hurry up, students. I hope you have answered all these questions. If not, please answer fast. The quiz will be ended in the next 15 seconds. So, 15, 14, 13. Hurry up, students. 12, 11, 10. Hurry up. 9, 8. Please be fast. And the YouTube participants, answer the quiz in the chat. You can see the quiz in the chat box. Chat. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Hurry up, students. And 1. I'm ending the poll. So, I hope you have answered all these questions. I have ended the poll. So, are you all excited to know about your answers? Then please check the answers on the Tinkerchat Maker Faire website on day 3. So thank you everyone for participating in the quiz. Hope it was fun and you all have learned something in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Likhita, for the fun quiz. Now, let's move on to the next part of the session, answering your questions and doubts. Let's take a few questions from the audience. Please share your questions in the chat window.
If you have a question, you can put it in the chat.
If there are no questions, let's move on. Thank you everyone for attending today's session on digital tools and technologies by Varshini. I hope you all have learned something new in the process. Please come back within the second question of today at 5:30 p.m. We will have a technology demonstration by 5 students where you will learn how to create a website, a chatbot, an augmented reality experience, an online store, and AI-based object detection app. I promise you, the next session will be even more interesting and thrilling. So let's meet in the next session. Bye bye.
Everyone who is here can give feedback on this form that I'm sharing now. You don't need to hesitate. You can give your honest feedback.
Thank you everyone for giving your feedback.
Thank you, Shanvi. Now, please don't forget to join our next session. Now everyone can leave.